Okay, like Mr. Jones said, my name is Kara. Okay, I'm one of the volleyball coaches here, and I'm currently getting my teaching credential at National. So we're going to go over section 3 and 4 of chapter 5. So we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so why do you need to know this stuff? Why do you guys need to know about the Senate, the process of passing laws, and committees? Yes?
Something that every citizen of the United States should know to better understand their government.
Yes. Okay, good. What else? Anybody? 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 What if you want to become a lawmaker? Okay? What if you want to become a senator? Okay? Or become an advisor for one of the committees? Okay? That's possible for you to do that. Okay? It's important for you guys to be involved with your government. Okay? Did anybody vote in yesterday's election?
My dad did.
Your dad did? Okay. Very good. Okay, are you guys aren't 18 yet? No? Okay, did you guys vote in the election yesterday?
No.
Okay. So, why did we have an election yesterday?
Special election.
Special election for mayor. Okay, so we kind of gave our mayor the boot, right? Okay, so was it a winner-take-all election? Did one person win yesterday? Or are we going to have a runoff? We're going to have a runoff, okay? Does anybody know who the runoff's going to be in February, March? Yes.
Alvarez and Fletcher.
Yes. Okay? So it could have been a winner-take-all if Nathan Fletcher would have taken more than 50% of the vote. Did he? No. Okay? So now it's going to be a runoff, okay? So we won't actually have an elected mayor or an elected official mayor, okay, until the spring. All right? So it's important to be involved in your government, and it's important to know the process in which laws are created that affect you in your everyday lives. Okay, when you get a job, how much do you get paid for that job? Okay, when you get a license. Okay, can you marry who you want? Okay, those are all important laws that affect you. Okay, and your loved ones, and if you have a family or kids in the future, they'll affect them too.
No single person is actually in charge of making our laws. Instead, we have a large group of lawmakers called Congress.
If you were one of these people, you would be part of our legislative branch of government. That's the branch that makes the laws. You couldn't get to decide on all the laws by yourself, but that doesn't mean your ideas couldn't be created.
Okay. So, things to remember. We had a government shutdown, okay, because they couldn't agree on what? What were they fighting over? Anybody know the reason for the government shutdown? Yes.
Was it because of that crisis? Or funding?
No.
Not funding?
No. More specific. It's about the health care bill. We had a government shutdown, a lot of things were happening, okay, they couldn't come together on agreement, okay? But eventually, government came back together and passed portions of the bill. It has to keep moving, it has to keep processing, it has to keep people employed, it has to keep the country running, okay? So, no matter what happens, okay, no matter how bad things are, no matter how much they disagree, eventually they will come together. The Senate only has 100 members, 2 for every state, okay? Does anybody know our state representatives? Our senators? There's 2.
Boxer. Einstein.
Okay. Okay, so those are important people to know. Okay, they represent you in the Senate. They're passing laws on your behalf as a citizen of California. Okay, does anybody know how many representatives are in the House of Representatives?
Is it 435 or something?
Okay, okay. Can the number of Senate members go up?
Yes.
If the Senate allows unlimited debate on proposed legislation, unless, does anybody know, what can stop the debate or stop a bill? Leaders, okay, the majority and minority leaders are selected by their parties to represent them. Okay, it is the floor leader's job to guide the party's agenda and bills through the Senate. Okay, so they're going to perpetuate, okay, their party, their agenda, okay, what bills they want to pass. Okay, so they will put those at the top of the list. Floor leaders research and develop and criticize. So when it comes around the re-election time, you want your party to now be the majority. instead of the minority, so you can be in charge of the calendars. You can be in charge of what bills are brought to the Senate floor. How are bills scheduled? There's two, okay? These are one of your key terms in your books, okay? One, calendar of general orders, which lists all the bills the Senate will consider. I want the San Diego panda at the San Diego Zoo to be our state animal. Because everybody loves pandas, right? Who doesn't love a panda? Pandas are awesome. Okay? I can introduce a bill, okay, because that's what I feel that my majority of Senate abandons the bill or agrees to modify it in a committee. Okay? So, who here has seen Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? It's a really old black and white movie. No? Maybe? Yes? You've seen it? Okay. What is it about? What does Mr. Smith do?
Where is that one? He goes to the Congress and.
No. Okay, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is not a Schoolhouse Rock. Okay? It's a movie made by 20th Century Fox. Okay? And Mr. Smith Goes to Washington about some things that are happening in his state that he's very concerned about. And people are trying to pass a law and say things about the state or what's happening is untrue. So he goes to Washington and he talks and he talks and he talks for hours. Hours turn into days, okay? Until he can no longer speak or stand because he owns the floor on this bill and he's arguing, saying, please listen to me. What's going on, what everybody's telling you, okay, is wrong. We cannot pass this bill. And so he's trying to hold it. Okay, and people are trying to filibuster him, but he never pauses it or stops debating. Okay? So when you are arguing a bill, or even when you're filibustering and you're holding the floor, you can read the phone book, you can read the Bible, you can read, I don't know, Edgar Allan Poe, or your textbook, okay? Or the Constitution, okay? Or the bill itself. You can read that, okay? So, how do you yield the floor to someone else? Yes?
Oh, what's the how are you saying?
That's the 60 senator votes that limits the senator to speak for only 1 hour.
Oh. Thank you.
Okay, so that was section 3. Moving on to section 4. Congressional committees. Alright. So, what is the purpose of a Senate committee? Okay, Senate committees are one of the most important things about passing a bill, okay, or making a bill into law. So in the Senate, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of bills that each committee has a specialty, okay? So, if my specialty is coaching volleyball, okay, I would not be on a committee for the Navy SEALs. That makes no sense, right? So you're part of a committee that you have expertise in, okay, you have a degree in. Committees select what bills have a chance to become law, alright? So if you are the majority leader, or you're the head of that committee, you are going to propose and discuss bills first and foremost that you or your party want to pass, that are going to get you. Most bills never make it past committees. Okay, 4 types of committees. There are 4 things that you need to know for your test. Okay, standing committee, select committee, joint committee, and conference committee. Does anybody know any permanent committees for Congress? Yes.
Is it standing committee?
What type of standing committees? Like what are?
I have no idea.
Okay. Anybody? Anybody? Okay.
Is the select intelligence committee?
Yes. Okay, that's one. What else? What about committees that deal with the pharmaceutical companies? What about genetically modified foods? What about special interest groups? So those are permanent committees. Those are always there. Alright. Select committees. They're temporary. Okay? Created to study, investigate, and research a specific issue being debated. Okay? So, what would be a temporary committee right now? What's a big thing going on in our government that's being discussed?
Obamacare.
Obamacare, very good. Okay, Obamacare. Okay, so it's a temporary committee. Okay, specifically to study, investigate, and research things that are
They'll
going on.
discuss.
Problem. They'll research it, they'll come back to the floor and go, one, okay, this is matters of great concern. People are losing their health care because of this bill. This is a matter of great concern for my citizens in my state, and I am very unhappy. Okay? So, discussion for this bill continues, right? What are some special interest groups that we have? Yes.
Small business owners?
Small business owners. Who else? Anybody? NRA? AARP? Okay. What's that?
CBO, is that
Yeah.
one?
Okay, so special interest group, problems for special interest, okay? Joint committees are created when, anybody know? There's been a bill passed in the Senate and the House and it's not exactly the same. They have to come together and discuss, okay? They're compilable. A few minor differences in between the two, boom, can't be a law, okay? Can only be a law if both bills are identical. So they have to go to a conference committee, come together, okay, go, okay, let's hash this out. What do you want? What do we want? What compromises are you willing to make? What are you going to take off your bill? What can we add? Okay, and kind of mesh them together. And then they have to go back, the identical bills have to go back to both houses and get voted on again. And you pass a really important law, right? When you go back to an election year, okay, and you say, well, I was fighting for this bill and it passed, and it, you know, you got to keep your house, or you got health care, or you got to send your kid to college. You just got all those votes, okay, and you're going to get reelected, okay? So being on a committee, especially an important standing committee, or a member of an important committee, increases the probability. You can also have an influence over other lawmakers. So people who are in your committee, people who are in the Senate, people who are in the House of Representatives. So, what did you learn about the Senate? What are some important key ideas, subjects, people, numbers, committees? What did you learn about the Senate?
It's a very organized process to establish equality for everybody.
Okay.
Have a fair chance of improving.
Okay. Because everybody is allowed to discuss the bill, everybody's allowed to present their argument. What is a filibuster? A stalling tactic, okay, to do what? To stop a bill, okay, stop a bill being passed. How many types of committees are there? 4. Okay, what are the 4 types of committees?
Standing committee, subcommittee, joint committee, and conference committee.
What else?
100 members.
There's 100 members, okay. How many from each state?
2.
2. Does that never change from year to year, or election to election?
Only if there's a state added.
Unless there's a state added, exactly.
State kick it off.
Yeah, unless like Texas or California or the, you know, goes to secede from the Union, okay, and we have another civil war. Who's in charge of the Senate? Who's the leader of the Senate? He's not the Speaker of the House, he's the
Vice President.
Vice President, okay? Alright. Why is it important for you to know the process for the Senate? Not just for your test, but life in general, right? Okay, it's important for you guys to be active, okay, in your government, alright? So, people who didn't vote, you know, maybe yesterday, maybe you'll vote in the spring election, okay? Maybe you didn't think this one mattered or whatever, okay, or maybe you couldn't choose between all the candidates, okay? But now you only have to choose from 2, right? For you, I'm going to hand out a little sheet for you guys that you can fill out. So I'll start in the middle and have you guys pass these around. Okay, so these are important key terms that are outlined in your textbook, okay, that you should know for your guys' section test. Okay.